All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm now calling to order our regularly scheduled meeting of the Palm Desert City Council, the successor agency to the Palm Desert Redevelopment Agency, the Palm Desert Housing Authority, and the Palm Desert Board of Library Trustees for Thursday, July 9th, 2026. Could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Harnick.
Here.
Councilmember Moreno.
Present.
Councilmember Nestandi.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Perdetto.
Here.
Mayor Truby.
Here.
All councils present.
Okay, I will now ask Councilmember Nestandi to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, I have words of inspiration. And this is actually going to be a little bit more of a show and tell. I enjoy our revamped and reinvigorated public library very, very much. And one of my favorite portions of the library is the local history section. Love learning about the local desert and the city of Palm Desert. And picked up a book about old mines in the high desert. It was fascinating from the 1800s. But I also found this book I had never even heard of after living here for 30 years. It's called Desert Editor. It is the story of Randall Henderson and Palm Desert, written by a gentleman named J. Wilson McKenney, and who was a contemporary of Mr. Henderson's, had worked with him at Desert Publishing and spent time with them and been business partners, et cetera. And just a terrific book. I know there's a lot of civic pride in the city. I know there's a lot of love for the city among the populace. And this was, I'm in the middle of it actually, but it's an outstanding read. Randall Henderson is my new spirit animal. I love this guy. He not only had the vision and foresight to found the publishing company here, but he was also a lover of the great outdoors and explored all the local canyons. He actually traversed down Deep Canyon, which it's really not traversable. It requires, there's like 100-foot dry waterfalls. You got to use ropes and everything to get down. So just stories like that contained herein. I would recommend this to anybody. I love it. Very proud of the city, even more so now after getting into this book. So great find. Thank you, Ms. Vonnegut, for providing a local history section at the library. Awesome. And that's it. We will move on now to a report of closed session.
Thank you, Mayor. There's no reportable action taken at closed session this afternoon.
And we are on to our awards, presentations, and appointments. And we are going to do a proclamation. Sorry, let me get to the right spot here. We're going to do our Outdoor Worker Appreciation Week proclamation. So I'd ask the rest of the council to join me at the dais, and we'll read this thing. All right. You're going to come down and accept it? Yeah? All right. I got a loud voice, but I hate to say it, Sarah. How do we turn this sucker on?
I don't know. Usually we get more folks.
Sarah, where's the ad?
We got a picture. Oh, come on, guys. It's not like we're strangers.
Is it on?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I didn't see that. Sorry about that. All right. This is terrific. All right. So I think this is just a portion of our outdoor workers represented here. I think a lot of them are probably still outdoor working. So thank you all for joining me here up here to receive this. And I wanted, before I begin, mention that this was sort of the genesis of this, from what I understand, was a local resident, Emily Langenmann, who was working at Renova Energy at the time and had understood that and seen firsthand how outdoor workers work in our extreme desert conditions, rallied for this. The cause was taken up by fellow council member Jan Harnick, and it was brought up to the state level by Greg Wallace, and now we have an official Outdoor Appreciation Week that, of course, Palm Desert celebrates and has been recognized also at the state level by the Assembly. So excellent stuff. I brag about our city all the time and how we have I hear it all the time from tourists, residents, people I deal with in the mayor role, people I deal with in my business role with tourists. Everybody loves how beautiful our city is and couldn't be more proud, so thank you. Whereas outdoor workers provide essential services that support the safety, infrastructure, cleanliness, accessibility, and overall quality of life of communities throughout California. And whereas outdoor work supports many important municipal services, including public works, code enforcement, building and safety, parks, utilities, traffic operations, landscape maintenance, and community maintenance. And whereas the City of Palm Desert relies on the dedication and professionalism of employees who work outdoors to help keep the community safe, functional, well-maintained, and responsive to the needs of residents, businesses, and visitors. And whereas outdoor workers regularly perform physically demanding duties while facing extreme weather conditions, heat exposure, smoke exposure, and other occupational hazards, particularly during the summer months in the Coachella Valley. And whereas these workers continue to provide vital services that support the daily operations and well-being of the community, often without recognition for their efforts and contributions. And whereas the City of Palm Desert proudly recognizes and appreciates the hardworking outdoor workers across all departments whose daily efforts help maintain, protect, improve, and serve the community. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Evan Truby, Mayor of the City of Palm Desert, California, on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of July 14th through July 20th, 2026 as Outdoor Worker Appreciation Week in the City of Palm Desert, and encourage all residents, businesses, and community members to join in recognizing and celebrating the valuable contributions of outdoor workers throughout our city. Very good. So, big hand.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council, for the continued support. Thank you. And just on behalf of the team, thank you. Perfect day. It's 150-something degrees out there, so this is a perfect day. So I know we all take a lot of pride, so again, thank you guys.
As you see here, it takes a village to keep this great city running. And like the mayor mentioned, it involves landscape, streets, traffic code compliance, building inspectors. There's a whole slew of individuals that go out there every day. They suit up, they show up, they don't complain. Well, maybe a little bit, but we'll blame it on the heat. So, but they truly are, they inspire even the folks like me, indoor folks, to do more and to support them because they truly do remarkable work. Thank you.
There we are, for you, sir. Absolutely. And, oh yeah, photo time. And we also hosted a luncheon on Tuesday for all the workers here in Palm Desert, work for the city. So, double celebration.
Where should we go, Todd?
Yeah, we're getting tired.
Okay, we move on to item number 10, city manager comments.
Mayor, I have no update for today.
Okay, thank you very much. Item number 11, mayor and council member reports and requests for action. I will begin with, got to start with Councilmember Moreno, my creature habit, left to right.
Telling you, I think it's cheating, so you figure out what you don't have to talk about. Let's see, I attended the Sunline Reimagined meeting. I'm on the ad hoc committee, and it's getting down to the crunch time of whether the community is going to make the support to have more bus routes that take longer intervals or less routes with shorter intervals, and whether we prefer more riders or greater coverage. So we're going to ask everybody to stay involved and look at what that would present, because ideally we could advocate which model works best for each of our cities and how it impacts our economic development. So I'm thankful that the city has partnered already to distribute the surveys in the past, and know that that will keep coming forward. Yesterday I was at the library. It was the 10-year Pokemon Go anniversary. Originally this was supposed to be in collaboration with the Desert Recreation District. Didn't pan out. Our staff took it on, and it was a great opportunity. We even had the discussion with some of the folks about how sometimes they go out as groups of 20 or 30, and that they like going to some of the restaurants, and wondering if, in future conversations, to see if we could partner with local businesses to keep those 20 or 30 people that eat, keep their money here in Palm Desert, especially if they're close to our park. I was up on Highway 74, and I also was thinking about it in terms of like Highway 154 up in, I think, Santa Barbara County. And when you use it as a bypass, the use that it gets, and was remembering how that's part of the Caltrans Riverside County initiative, and our part of that, as well as the city of Palm Desert with the direct impact. Happy to see that staff's report, we're putting up the Bighorn Sheep Crossing. So that was just a big impact to public safety. As much as people think that signs don't matter, they are the reminder to at least slow down. And the city's social media, I can't say enough how great things are popping up for the World Cup, for the Pokemon events, to invite folks. So I was wondering if this is just a product of having such outgoing and friendly staff, or if this is maybe attributed to the Palm Desert University and the type of team that it builds, and letting people be comfortable with their creativity. And just as reflects our culture, reflects the culture of our staff and how we're driven to do more for the community. I participated in a meeting with Assemblymember Jeff Gonzalez, looking at the autism walk that they're planning in the East Valley in November, and some of what we can learn for the best practices for the event that we're hoping to have in the park here in April of next year. And I took that opportunity to follow up on a previous ask for money for the Veterans Resource Center. And that was a conversation up at League of Cities, and I believe it was a humble $5 million ask is what we're hoping for our Veterans Resource Center. And when I reminded him, he was very supportive and asked us to put in the request, and that he'll work with our Assemblymember Wallace to move that forward as part of what we're looking to accomplish. Very timely as we looked at what our reimagining our library will look like. And then last thing I had was, 4th of July. Fun was had by everyone. Great job, staff. Every year it gets better. The logistics get better. The signage gets better. The coordination gets better. The mayor and I were talking about that I think the only thing that we could have improved on was just keeping a Palm Desert booth there longer to serve as an information tent, or a way to give out some of our information, to serve as lost and found, and how to get info, like, medical attention, citizens on patrol, et cetera. So that was just one of the discussion points. Oh, the earplugs, that was one of them. That if people were looking for the earplugs, there was nowhere on site to be able to say, go to the Palm Desert booth if the booth was gone. But that said, it was beautiful. It was emotional that it's 250 years, and we're celebrating the past and looking at all of the little ones that were dancing. It was joyful. It was joyful, and out of all of the years that I've been attending, it's been 24 years now, and this one was my favorite by far. So thanks to everyone that had their fingerprint on it. All of Public Works going and doing all of the behind scenes that nobody sees, but we just reap the benefits. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And that's it.
Councilmember Nastandi.
Yes, I just wanted to take a moment to thank our staff for the tremendous amount of work that goes in for them preparing our agenda packets each month. It's hundreds and hundreds of pages. Even though it is their job, you still go beyond the call of duty. And even just now, Anthony, our city clerk, came over here because my paperwork that I need to turn in wasn't quite right. So I feel as if staff is always there for us. They've got our backs covered, and they give us the information we need as council members to make informed decisions. We might not always agree on how we interpret the information, but at the end of the day, it's just invaluable. And as we honored our outdoor workers today, I just want to say thank you to all of our staff that attend our meetings, and you sit here during these council meetings as well. So there we go. Thank you.
Councilmember Harnick.
Thank you, and bless your hearts for sitting through some of these meetings. I also wanted to mention Independence Day, and it really was spectacular, and there were a couple things in particular I wanted to cite. I've never seen so many people dancing. That was wonderful to see. And the traffic control, it seems like there was something new. It was impeccable. And we need to thank, again, with outdoor workers, our sheriffs, our citizens on patrol, who were all out there really making sure that we could have a great day and celebrate our independence. So it was outstanding. I also wanted to mention the Coachella Valley Association of Governments had their annual assembly. And it was great to see how many things we've achieved regionally. Our synchronization of signals, our CV Link, the homeless projects that they've put out there, and the really great successes they've had, and the awards they've received from all over California and Southern California for what they're doing. And it was nice to be able there to celebrate with our entire valley. As we went forward. I did want to mention, please, as we go forward, you'll be hearing from me. The Southern California Association of Governments is launching a few of the projects that they are tasked with doing. One is the Regional Housing Needs Assessment, and we'll need people's voices to speak up and talk about what it is we need and to give us a voice as we go forward. Additionally, we call it Connect SoCal, but it's the Regional Transportation Plan and Sustainable Communities something. But as we go forward, when we put that together, we're going to ask to hear from you what your thoughts are about the Regional Transportation Plan, what we need, and this includes everything from trains to airports to our roads, our highways. So as we go forward, we get a little further down the road on these projects. I'll be letting you know when you can weigh in online about these projects and how we can improve everybody's lives with your voice. So please pay attention to that. And we need blood here in the Valley. You know, when our high school students are gone, they are our biggest group of donors, our high school students. And they're not in high school, so we don't have the blood drives at the high schools. Also, all our guests, our visitors, those with second homes who come here, are now gone. We are in dire need of blood. So if you can donate, please do. You know, you can save with 1 pint of blood, you can save 8 lives. You can be a hero for sure. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mayor Pro Tem. Nothing? Okay. So I'm going to keep gushing. Again, the July 4th celebration put on by the city was spectacular. I loved it. I hope each of you had a chance to either go to the park or see it from your home. But, you know, I typically ride my bike over because I don't have to deal with park and everything. So I was able to kind of quickly go to all 4 corners of the park, and it was like every single corner of the park was being used. We had water slides. We had the new playground that just opened in the Civic Center had been open for a week. It was getting used like crazy, kids running around, people kicking soccer balls, getting food, just spreading out blankets. I got compliments about how the stage was decorated. I heard that people had driven from several hours away to enjoy the 4th of July. The whole thing was like a Norman Rockwell painting. It was just fantastic, outstanding, loved it. And I remember last year when I attended, I said, well, next year when I'm mayor, I want to have like a dozen launch sites for the fireworks. Well, I found out, just to make it crazy, right, to have like over the top, Palm Desert's going to do it nutty and make headlines that way. Found out you couldn't do that. You got to plan that about 5 years in advance. But the tweaks that the council, that the staff made was outstanding. I mean, just like I said, kids were playing everywhere, and there was loudspeakers all over, so everybody could enjoy the music. And it was exactly how human beings should be enjoying themselves on the 4th of July. It was beautiful. So, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Do we have an estimate of how many people actually attended this year? Do the sheriffs or anybody keep track of that?
There's not an estimated number, but we definitely think it was record-breaking, so let's see. Potentially 20,000.
It felt that way. 20,000. All right. That's what I'm talking about. And then, yeah, it felt like a record-breaking. I know Taylor, was it San Filippo, the girl, who, Palm Desert High School student, sang the national anthem. It was incredible. It was just jaw-dropping how beautiful it was. Incredible talent. So the city manager was kind enough to provide me a list of all the people from city staff who contributed to it. And if you'll give me a moment, I'm going to read all their names out loud because I think they deserve it. We start with Shelby Goodwin, the Master of Ceremonies. But I'm going to ask you to withhold your applause till the end because otherwise we'd be about an hour here. So we have Jesus Centeno, Paul Villanueva, Efren Espinosa, Sergio Samaniego, Brad Chuck, Joe Fox, Joe Rojas, Freddie Rios, Ernesto Navarrete, Elias Mendoza, Giovanni Pineda, Rafael Muniz, Pedro Dominguez, Jesus Gardino, Jeffrey Cabezas, Nicholas Gill, Vincente Sevilla, Jesse Padilla, Daniel Angelo, Frankie Lopez, Thomas Soul. Is Thomas here? No? Okay. No. We have Todd Butts, Rylan Penta, who I know is here, Daniel Hurtado, who is here, Carlos Rodriguez, and Joseph Abayata. So hats off, man. Outstanding. Loved it so much. And one last thought. Through the course of reading that Desert Editor book, I came to find out that our very first post office opened July 14th, 1947. So if anybody wants to put that in the calendar and celebrate, feel free. Kind of a landmark in our history. Okay, so we are going to move on now to item number 12, non-agenda public comments.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, beg your
if I could
pardon.
just make one quick announcement. For the public, please be advised that items 15D and 15E on tonight's agenda include property owner protest ballot proceedings. Ballots for each of the item may be submitted to the city clerk at any time during the meeting until the respective public hearings are closed, and the public testimony will be received during each of those public hearings.
Very good, thank you. We are on to item number 12, non-agenda public comments. This time has been set aside for the public to address the city council on issues that are not on the agenda for up to 3 minutes. Because the Brown Act does not allow the city council to act on items not listed on the agenda, council members may briefly respond or refer the matter to staff for report and recommendation at a future meeting. And I guess we have a few housekeeping remarks about the public comment.
For those on Zoom, if you want to participate in public comment, please click the raise hand button on your computer or smartphone. And if you're calling in by your phone, please dial *9 to raise your hand. And when called upon, press *6 to unmute yourself.
Okay, very good. I do have 2 blue cards here regarding non-agenda comment items. And we'll start with Mr. Dean Gaetons. Very good.
Hello. Thank you, Council. Dean Gatens, we've been in Palm Desert for 19 years, and we've loved every minute of it, as well as I was very honored to serve on the Resource Preservation and Enhancement Committee for 14 years until it was recently dissolved, and I'm very honored that I was able to do so. Thank you, Councilmember Harnack. I interviewed with Council when you were on. Councilmember Nastandi, you served often with us, and Mayor Truby, you were on the committee as well, so I enjoyed that. I'm very excited to share, if you haven't been following, the next St. Jude Dream Home is coming to Palm Desert. And yes, it's a dream. You could be my neighbor. As Mr. Rogers says, won't you be my neighbor? It is next door to me, and we are very excited about that. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be a self-appointed ambassador for our neighborhood, so we're looking forward to that. But the primary reason, folks, today is that I've come to council before, and I'm asking you again, we desperately need help on Hoveley West. Hoveley West is an Autobahn. There is no enforced speed limit. They drive as fast as they want, and they know it because it's a passageway in between Portola and Monterey. I'm asking, please, that we reviewed. There is no median. Hoadley East has a median, about 98% of it. Hoadley West has none. And just recently, once again, as I shared last time, those that don't like to go speed limit, they pass us. So recently, there were 4 cars midday traveling that would be east on Hoadley West, and the car behind me decided he's going to pass all of us. So out of the health and safety for our community, I'm asking please if we can review a median on Hoadley West to save the lives of the neighborhood, and won't you be my neighbor in doing so? Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Appreciate it. Next card I have is from Mr. Mike Morsch.
Thank you and good afternoon. Today I have with me the owner of Fireside Pharmacy, and her name is Yeti, and her husband is Yami. It's a local pharmacy here in Palm Desert, actually 2 locations, and 1 location in Palm Springs. They're looking to open one in La Quinta, and they've been regulated very, very toughly by the California Board of Pharmacy. Let me give you a quick idea of what's going on here. For more than a year, the pharmacy was subject to inspections, investigations, inquiries, corrective demands, and ongoing oversight. During that time, management and staff responded to every request, devoted substantial time and resources to addressing concerns, and worked diligently to comply with evolving regulatory requirements. As a result, pharmacists and staff were forced to divert significant operational resources from patient care to responding to regulatory requests, preparing documentation, implementing added compliance measures, and addressing reoccurring inspection-related issues. They're kind of unique. Yeti and Yami, they're a compounding pharmacist. They will make up, working with your primary care physician, what allergies you have, and all kinds of things like this, whereas I call them the big pharma pharmacies, don't do this. They just make up, if you have an eye allergy, they'll work up something for that issue. What we're trying to do is to get the California Board of Pharmacies to back away a little bit and let them do their job. The restrictions that they've put on these folks is unbelievable. I have a packet with all of the information. I can't go through it all in my time limit here. And Anthony will go ahead and send you all of this information, and please read it. And if you can, please, after you're reading it and you agree with it, please take the time to send a letter to us. I think you all have my email address. And we're going around and we're getting petitions. One last thing, I commend and commendate the Palm Desert staff and all of the people who work here. I was at the Palm Springs Council meeting yesterday, and it gave me a new appreciation for you guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morsch.
Thank you.
Very good. I have no other blue cards. Are there any online speakers?
No online comments.
Terrific, thank you. We are on to item number 13, the consent calendar. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and may be approved by one motion. The public may comment on any item on the consent calendar for up to 3 minutes. I don't have any speaker cards for consent items. Any online?
No online comments, but Mr. Mayor, staff would like to pull 13O for an update.
Okay, very good. And do any of my colleagues wish to pull any other items?
I would like to pull G as in George, K, and S as in Sam.
Okay. Anybody else? So we have items 13O, item 13G, item 13A, and item 13S to be
Wait.
pulled.
Was that 13? Because I had a question on 13O that I gave to staff? Okay, so it's getting pulled. Okay, thank you.
Well, okay, would anybody care to make
I
a
move
motion?
the balance.
Second.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, so I guess we'll go in alphabetical order. Would that work? Okay, so item 13A, let me get all the verbiage here. And A as in apple, is that right?
G.
Oh, G.
G.
G is designating the northern area of Palm Desert as North Palm Desert. It's more of a comment than a question. I had residents that reached out, and originally they misinterpreted what it was, and once they read through it, they said they felt validated that the changing the name, it may have seemed like a small thing, but it was very symbolic to feel like it's no longer some ethereal, mystical place that exists as the North Sphere, but to feel fully embedded and adopted into what it means to be part of Palm Desert. And so it was, again, the little things that mean a lot, and the appreciation to staff to go and have to make all of those changes in every place that we had referred to it as the North Sphere. So that's the comment on that, not a question.
Very good. Okay. No other comments on that?
And item K, again, is
And I
a
just wanna
comment.
pause for a
Yeah.
moment. I thought I heard 13A, but did I
No, I
mishear
have
that?
13G, O, K, and S.
Okay, I beg your pardon. Okay, on to then K.
K is the resolution adopting the City of Palm Desert digital accessibility policy. And I wanted to say thanks to staff and all of the work that it's taken to revamp and overhaul the entire website to be compliant with the ADA requirements. And seeing that now that DOJ timeline has been extended to April 2027, I know that thankfully that gives staff a little bit of a breather to go through and make things compliant, and especially since that was one of my big concerns regarding the budget last time, to know that some of those elements have been restored, and it reinforces our commitment to transparency and gaining public trust. So thanks again to everybody in every department, because I know this impacts everybody, not just the clerk's office where people think it may have the bulk of it. So that was the comment on that.
No other comments? We'll move on to item 13O. Oh, I might as well read it. I beg your pardon. Item 13O is, we have, well, actually, I'll let Ms. Sean Muir read it. Beg your pardon.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the City Council. I'm Sean Muir, the Community Services Manager, and staff have requested to pull item 13O because we'd like to make a modification in the second action requested in the staff report. The staff report lists rejecting all bids and then re-advertising the request for proposals for bid. And the change is to, instead of immediately re-advertising that solicitation, we'd like to work with some of our existing vendors and find out whether there are changes in the scope that can actually reduce the scope and eventually save the city some money in terms of achieving the desired outcome in increasing programming and looking at the amenities at the Aquatic Center without having to contract with an outside consultant or reducing the scope and contracting thereafter.
Very good. Any questions? Yeah.
And those are all still within their allocations or even like automatic extensions. So none of them are getting to any sort of cutoff, and no one's at any disadvantage?
That's correct. It would be just a change in the way that we approach the project. So it would be potentially a new contract with a consultant, but still rejecting all of the bids as part of this solicitation.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And again, I know that takes a lot of work to process and make that determination. So thanks for being diligent and making sure we're doing the best with the money that we've got.
Okay, very good. No other comments? We'll move on to item 13S, which is,
That one's adopt the resolution authorizing acceptance and administration of the Cannabis Tax Fund grant.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of City Council. Daniel Hurtado, here to take your questions.
My questions on that, so just to give more info, that, that's the 2026-27 fiscal year, and the grant was for $160,800. I was wondering, is that funding that we can reapply for next year, or is this a one-time grant?
So we previously applied last fiscal year for the cannabis tax grant, and we went ahead and finished that off this year. This grant is going to be for this year. We will be given a grant agreement specifying what activities we can be utilized for this year. For this grant, we were going to be procuring a DUI truck to go ahead and tow our DUI trailer that was used last fiscal year with the grant money we were awarded, as well as some of the saturation and DUI enforcement checkpoints.
So that's a tow truck or a truck to tow your?
The trailer, correct. So
Okay.
last fiscal year, we procured a trailer using the grant funds. This year, we're getting a DUI truck, I'm sorry, a truck for the DUI trailer, so.
And is the funding that you've got there, is that all tapped out? You've got an idea of where you want to spend all of that money, or, because my train of thought essentially was in the sections of what it says, community education, it still seems it's geared towards enforcement. So I'm wondering if any of that, or if it's been considered to have some of that funding go to educating students and parents. And I was having a discussion with our mayor about how it's not just the same as looking for the pack of cigarettes or looking for the joint. It's that kids are buying things that look like school supplies or other items that look innocent and buying them on social media. And that at even the elementary school level, kids are getting caught with different items. So I was wondering if there's a possibility to have some sort of awareness that the city can put out some of those materials. 'Cause, you know, it's tough to be a parent as is, let alone knowing what your kids are buying on social media.
So for this grant specifically, we will have to follow the grant agreement on what we can use those funds. But I want to say another item on the agenda for tonight's packet is, give me 1 second. Is going to be item 13N. So for this, council just approved that, adopt a resolution authorizing the acceptance of this grant. And this one's going to be geared towards illicit cannabis response. And a huge component will be an education campaign, because it's going to be focused on our schools with 2 school resource officer positions. And a huge component will be a part of that campaign. So that was part of item 13N, and I can follow up on that item once we get that full grant agreement as well.
Wonderful. You guys are awesome. You're on top of being proactive. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Other comments? Councilmember Harnick.
I simply wanted to move the 4 items with the appropriate amendment on O.
Very good. So we'll
Second.
second that.
Motion passes 5-0 with the amendment to item 13O.
Very good. Thank you very much. We have no action items tonight, so we will therefore move on to item 15, which is public hearings. The public may comment on individual public hearing items within the 3-minute time limit. The applicant and appellant will be provided with up to 10 minutes to make their presentations. Following public testimony, the appellant and applicant will then be given an opportunity to offer rebuttal comments for up to 3 additional minutes. And we'll begin with item 15A, Fourth Amendment to the Development Agreement 96-1 with WVC Rancho Mirage, Inc., formerly Starwood, for the Desert Willows Westin, and find the project exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act. And we have a staff report from Mr. Carlos Flores.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. Carlos Flores, Development Services, here to present the Fourth Amendment to this development agreement. So the request, again, is the Fourth Amendment. What staff is requesting today is to extend the expiration date. This is set to expire in August of this year, and we're asking for an extension until February of 2027. Staff has worked with the applicant, and we are close, but just need a little more time to finalize updates to the performance schedule. We're looking for better clarity both on staff's end as well as with the applicant to improve what's remaining on the development agreement for obligations, deliverables, and required timing of each step until completion. we feel confident that once we come back before that February 27th expiration date, that we'll have an updated development agreement with that. So just a bit of context, I'm going to run through. Here's a vicinity map of the area in question within this development agreement. So it's within the Desert Willow area. They've built 300 units up to this, 300 units total have been approved. There's 80 units that remain to be built and subject to the rest of the performance schedule within the development agreement, seen on your screen here. So again, what we're asking for is to extend the term by 6 months. Proposed revisions are currently under staff review and would come back. There's no changes proposed to any land use, development intensity, site design, or any existing entitlements. It's simply on the, some clarification and better language within performance schedule and cleanup. So for analysis, the development agreement in front of you today remains consistent with our general plan and regulations. Per CEQA, it can be found to be exempt per the common sense exemption. This item was publicly noticed within 1,000 feet and posted in the Desert Sun. No public comments were received. It was also recommended for approval by the Planning Commission. So with all that said, staff is recommending that the City Council adopt an ordinance which would find the project exempt from CEQA and approve the 6-month time extension.
I will now open the public hearing. I have no speaker cards. Are there any online comments?
No online comments?
Okay, I will therefore now close the public hearing and open it up to questions from my colleagues of staff. No? No? All right, any comments?
Well, I would move to approve.
All right, sounds good. I will second. Oh, I did. Yeah, I used the gavel. All right.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, we are now on to item 15B, approve the engineer's report and order the levy and collection of assessments for the City of Palm Desert Benefit Assessment District Number 1 for fiscal year 26-27. We have a staff report from Ms. Murillo.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Maria Murillo with Public Works. This item approves the engineer's report and annual levy for the Benefit Assessment District for fiscal year 26-27. This funds maintenance of the Section 29 Stormwater Retention Basin and related drainage infrastructure. Staff recommends adoption of the resolutions.
Very good, thank you for that. I will now open the public hearing. I have no speaker cards. Are there any online comments?
No online comments.
I will now close the public hearing. And any clarifying questions from my colleagues? Any comments from my colleagues?
Move approval.
All right, I will second.
You have to close the session.
Motion passes 5-0.
Very good. Thank you very much. On to item 15C, approve the engineer's report and order the levy and collection of annual assessments for Consolidated Palm Desert Landscaping and Lighting District Number 1 for fiscal year 26-27. You are back on, Ms. Murillo.
Good evening again. This item approves the engineer's report and annual assessments for Consolidated Palm Desert Landscape and Lighting Districts for fiscal year 26-27. This funds landscaping, street lighting, and related improvements across 33 benefit zones, and staff recommends adoption of both resolutions.
Thank you very much. I will now open the public hearing. No speaker cards. Any online comments?
No online comments.
Therefore, I will now close the public hearing and ask if any of my colleagues have questions of staff.
I wish I did, but no.
All right, no comments, no questions. Anybody care to make a motion?
Move.
Second.
Motion passes 5-0.
Okay, very good. We are now on to item 15D, conduct a public hearing and adopt resolutions declaring the results of the property owner protest ballot proceeding and confirming the annexation of tract 31377 Corte Placitas into Consolidated Palm Desert Landscaping and Lighting District Number 1, Zone Number 6. Staff report.
Good afternoon, Mayor Truby and council members. Chris Gary with your Public Works Department. The item for your consideration today is the proposed annexation of tract 31377, also known as Corte Placitas, into the city-administrated landscaping and lighting district. Corte Placitas it's a neighborhood of 20 single-family homes located along Hoveley Lane West, and is the last remaining ungated residential tract on that corridor that's not currently part of a landscaping and lighting district. This process began back in 2024 when its homeowners association approached the city seeking alternates to reduce its costs for maintaining neighborhood public landscaping and street lighting. And then in December 2025, the city council held a study session regarding the potential transition of selected areas into the city's landscape and lighting district. And then Corte Placitas was one of those areas that were identified within that study session. And since then, staff has worked with the neighborhood and completed the annexation, the required annexation process. And tonight's public hearing and protest ballot proceedings represents the final step before City Council's consideration of the proposed annexation tonight. If a majority protest does not exist, the city will assume responsibility for maintaining the neighborhood's landscape and street lighting. But please note that property owners will continue to pay for these services through annual assessments, but just essentially through a different mechanism and at an overall lower cost for the residents. Following the public hearing, the city clerk will tabulate the ballots and announce the results. And if there is no majority protest, staff recommends approval of those resolutions. And that concludes my presentation. I'm available for any questions.
Very good. I will now open the public hearing. I have no speaker cards. Are any online comments?
No online comments, but I do want to say last call for anybody to submit a ballot on this matter. See none.
Very good. With that, I will now close the public hearing and ask for any questions from my colleagues. Any comments from my colleagues? Okay. Well, then.
I just would make a comment if I may. These are so often we find these issues with irrigation and where there's issues with the residents, and they want it to be nicer, and there's problems sometimes when they try and work together. And this is a great example of what happens when the city comes in and works with the residents and finds the solution. So I just wanted to make that comment, and I wanted to move as presented.
Well, I think we need to actually take a little break and have city clerk needs to tabulate the vote totals.
Thank you.
The legal proceedings.
I don't know, but do we have to recess?
Yes, I need about 5 minutes.
Okay, very good. So this time we'll have a little 5-minute stretch and come back, and the city clerk will give us the results.
Okay.
Okay, we are ready to resume. City Clerk, please announce the results of the ballot tabulation and identify whether a majority protest exists.
Mr. Mayor, those in favor was 93%, and those opposed were 7%. And so a majority protest does not exist, and the council may proceed with the annexation and levy of assessments.
Okay, so because it has been determined that no majority protest exists, we can entertain a motion.
Move as presented.
Second.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right, very good. All right, good stuff. There we go. Okay, on to item 15E. Declare the results of the property owner protest proceeding and order the renewal of the President's Plaza 3 Property and Business Improvement District and the levy and collection of assessments for fiscal year 26-27. We have a staff report. Ms. Murillo again.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Maria Murillo with Public Works. Before you is a public hearing to consider renewing President's Plaza 3 for a new 5-year term beginning fiscal year 26-27. President's Plaza 3 is an existing district consisting of 16 assessed commercial parcels located between Sage Lane and Highway 74. The district funds the maintenance and operation of improvements that support the commercial area, including parking lot landscaping, lighting, and debris removal. Following the public hearing, the city clerk will tabulate the ballots. If a majority protest does not exist, the council may adopt all actions requested for the renewal of President's Plaza 3 for fiscal year 26-27. I'm available for any questions if you have any.
Very good. So I understand, I want to make sure people have adequate time. If they like, they can still submit ballots directly to the city clerk. So we want to allow adequate time for that. I will now open the public hearing. I have no speaker cards here. Are there any online?
No online comments.
All right. With that, I will close the public hearing. And does anybody have any clarifying questions? Comments? All right. Very good. Then we will take a 5-minute recess to tabulate ballots again.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're looking to come back at 5:00 p.m. o'clock. Here we go. Okay. Opening it back up, and do we have the tabulation of the voting?
Mr. Mayor, those in favor represent 95%, and those opposed represent 5%. Therefore, a majority protest does not exist, and the council may proceed with the proposed action for President's Plaza 3 Property Business Improvement District.
Terrific. Well, then I will entertain a motion.
I move approval.
Second.
Motion passes 5-0.
All right. Well, with that, we are on to item 16, which is adjournment. So thank you all so much for coming out and doing such great work to city staff. We will see you in August, and enjoy your July.
Me and Shannon. Same times? I did mine first, though. Yeah, for